The pains of our heart misunderstood dwells within us all, as we seek to understand ourselves and not give a chance to understand others, and they see us as having no need to be understood. As we think on those things that bother, and it's a crime for anyone to reach out and cross our privacy borders, you see. All the while we get to think to ourselves, how did God make such unfeeling cruelty machines? And the only answers we get is to pay them back in their own shillings. And we get to think, maybe that will get them thinking. While by the way, we are becoming what we accuse them of being, frozen. Now the end result of whatever we think we're supposed to achieve by this is to make it clear to the world that if you don't need me, then you certainly aren't a part of my basic needs. And your ideas is something I can't heed. And every wrong ever done to you becomes planted as a seed to yield more cruelty and hatred from you to them, in a bid to prove that God made us all. And if they can be cold, He can offer much more. But a part of us still warm and green, never blooming. That part that makes us soft as suckling babies who their mamas want to win. But who know that letting go of that particular part of our being is engaging ourselves in a fight against man's mortality, which we can never win. So after every act of unkindness, unforgiveness, or simply seeing a brother in need and looking the other way, or like the Levites and the Pharisees, walking the other way as far as we can get and try to convince ourselves that we never met, we turn back to that particular part of our being that we still believe knows what is right, so that like an addiction, we wallow in a little self-guilt and then get over it. Some of us call it conscience because it makes us feel warmer, but I refer to it by what it reminds me of: summer. So it is that with every passing day and every unkind act, we get to see that part of our being diminish, and the nice feeling that helping out gives is something we don't miss. And every time the bell toll of summer rings in our hearts, we are quick to dismiss the lingering feeling we once called bliss. It always seems, yes, it always seems, that with every other act we go past a point from which we can never retreat, and then we see it as piling up trophies for ourselves, and we end up hearing things like, I get to lay her first, or I am the life of the party, and a few other things which a few lifetimes ago we would puke at the mere thoughts of it. So time after time we go further and further down, and the light in our soul grows thinner and thinner, whilst the beauty of our being is crippled and roughed up. And when we realize that not only have we been rejected by others, but we've also been refused by the one person we think we are protecting his interest, us. When finally we realize that even the hope of salvaging ourselves is no more in sight, we give into a blueprint which has not only lost its color, but instead of life we see an impossible combination of two opposite poles, giving us a frozen summer. Torn apart by the freezing hands of guilt and self-condemnation, we wish we could end it all in hell, and that is where the idea comes to drag as many with us as we can get and freeze the world as we used to know it, because our souls have been torn apart bit by bit, and it looks as though our fires were never lit. Congratulations to us, we're now full-blown Terminator killing machines who detest where there is green and pour eyes where the warmth of human sympathy had once been. Hating ourselves for doing it, but doing it nonetheless, because we can't be anything but this psycho-ecological mess. But hey, true, we've all been through this, and some of us are still going through this desert, adorned with a built-in tunnel and a self-acquired prison which we have constructed, laying the blocks with our self-justified reasons. If only we could look up a little like David did. Though he had every reason to answer hell's bid, yet he looked as far as the hills and then farther, when he realized that help comes only from God, who is well versed in fixing and mending, and who derives pleasure in straightening us where we were once bending. But to reach him, even the man after God's own heart had to stretch out his hand. And though his woes were many as the sand, he let God pick him up, wipe his mess, and place him on solid land. Good news is, you can do same. When life seems to be insane, and your desires become your worst bane, just reach out to the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and if the best you can do is grab his mane, then help yourself. Know this, it's never too late to make your life God's dictate, whilst the pride of life becomes a thing of distaste. Trust me, it works. I've had a taste. You are not the worst, and yes, I ain't, because the worst of us all is he who fixes, as he gathers our broken parts to himself, and believe me, he never runs out of parts. Let him defreeze you, give you warmth with which to enjoy the beautiful scents and flowers that come with summer, or simply put, the joy of the Lord and the everlasting love that makes you want to float. I may have been running my mouth, but I just had to let you know that you can escape the winter by flying south. And in this case, south will be into the master's arm. Having said all that needs to be said for now, I think it's time for you to decide. Pick up your voice from where you left off and call out to Jesus. Will you let him defreeze you, or keep freezing without even a frozen blanket? Run to the light, because it's no fun in the cold, dark night. And if indeed it's a weather for two, why don't you make him the first? Wrapped in his arms, he can weather whatever the world throws at you. Yeah, it's true. All you need to do is give him yourself. Jesus will do. Mindsmith signing out.